Numerous helicopters appeared in the sky. They're hanging from a huge glass canopy, moving slowly above the town of Springfield. As the dome fell, the townspeople were trapped forever. They made their way to the edge of the dome. The sheriff tried to break the glass with his firearm, but to no avail. Professor Frink says he's just perfected an invincible drill. It's indestructible. Unfortunately, it's covered by the outside of the dome. With the sound of a voice, an image of the EPA administrator was projected on the glass. He stated that Springfield had become the most polluted city in history. In order to prevent the pollution from spreading outside, the government had to seal them inside the dome. But they've cleaned the lake, and they've never dumped trash in the lake again. Why would they close the town?
Apparently someone didn't get the message.
Act natural.
Marge sat in her yard, knitting, longing for a summer breeze. Suddenly she saw that Maggie was outside the dome. She rushed to get Homer, but when the two of them ran out again, Maggie was inside the dome again. Homer looked at his reflection in the glass and reassured Marge that it was just an illusion. In the evening, the news reported that they had made a major discovery at Lake Springfield.
That could be anybody's pig crap silo.
Homer, it was you!
Homer was immediately identified as the source of the disaster. Countless residents carried torches to bring him to justice. They gathered in front of Simpson's house. In front of such a huge crowd, the family jumped out the window and rushed into the car. Homer started the car and tried to get out of the crowd, but the crowd lifted them up. They were to be hanged. The moment of truth. Bart led the group up the treehouse, but Homer was too fat and fell in midair. The men weren't about to stop. They tied chains to the roots of the tree. They were going to use a school bus to uproot the tree. Maggie told them to jump into the sandbox below, but they didn't understand what she meant, so Maggie had to do it herself. And then she actually appeared outside the dome. And then Marge remembered. Marge remembered that this hole was a big leak that Homer hadn't bothered to fix at the time. She jumped right in with the kids. When it was Homer's turn, he was still taunting the people in front of him, but his belly was too big and he got stuck in the hole.
Uh-oh.
The top of his head is still showing. Claw at it!
To cut off the spread of pollution, the government put a dome over everything. They even tried to level the town with a weapon of mass destruction. Right now, Marge and the kids are on a train to Seattle. They're about to announce to the world that this program is a conspiracy of monumental proportions. What they don't know is that all the chatter on the train is being monitored by the robots in front of them. The information has been transmitted via satellite to the U.S. security agency. There are countless people working here. They listen in on everyone's calls and chats, and they record all the information based on the listens and the location. The police quickly pinpointed the location of the Simpsons and arrested them when the train arrived at the station. On the other hand, Homer was rescued by a goddess. Under the godmother's guidance, he finally realized that his selfishness had led him to this point. He pushed the woman away. He stood up excitedly. In the darkness of the night, Ho-Mo quietly returned to the neighborhood of Springfield town. He saw a caravan. Lisa's saxophone sounded in his ears at the same time.
Lisa, knock off that racket! Lisa! They captured my family!
In front of the convoy, a replica sign suddenly appeared. Homer drove the crane out.
Did you hear something?
Probably just a moth.
I hope it's okay. Early the next morning, Marge and the kids woke up from their sleep. They're back inside the dome. All of the buildings are in ruins, and then the director reappears in the dome. Then an airplane took the plug out of the dome, and a time bomb falls from above. 15 minutes and counting. At this point, Homer disguises himself as a high-ranking officer. He takes out the soldiers guarding the dome. Then he gets a bottle of glue and coats his hands with it. He climbed up the dome's perimeter bit by bit, and the inhabitants of the dome are trying to find a way to escape. They had one of them draw attention to the dome. The rest of them climbed out of the dome on ropes.
I taste freedom!
Excuse me, watch out, coming through!
Once again, Homer ended everyone's hopes of escape. When he looked up, there stood his son. Bart's eyes were filled with disappointment.
Actually, you doomed us all. Again. Nice knowing you, Homer.
But